What's going on, Blues? It's your boy Aurélien. I'm back here with another video, and this time I got 4 alternative players to Declan Rice for that defensive midfielder position. The first player that Chelsea should be looking at if they don't get Declan Rice is Aurélien Tchouameni from AS Monaco, guys. He won the Young Player of the Year for Ligue 1 and he's regarded as one of the best midfielders in the league. And the guy is super talented, guys. He's great on the ball, great defensively, and he's highly regarded as one of the most promising players in Europe in his position. He's tall and strong, and his line-breaking passes are amazing, guys, from the deep areas. And I think he's gonna be the perfect guy to be an understudy for N'Golo Kante, guys. And I think, you know, depending on the game, they can play together, guys. I think they're gonna be very complementary. Tchouameni can be the guy who's kind of sitting deeper and, you know, progressing the ball from the deep areas, and Kante can just push higher and press. And I think that combination can work out, depending obviously the opponent. However, guys, I think Tchouameni is very talented, guys, and I think overall for his price, which is about like 35 to 40 million pounds, which can be lower depending on Monaco's financial situation, we can get basically a gem for a cheap price. And I think this guy is highly regarded as one of the best midfielders in his position in Europe. And overall, I think he can be a very important asset for us for the next 10 years if we sign him, because he's 21 years old, obviously. And I truly believe that this guy can be the replacement for N'Golo Kante. I'm very confident. I watched a lot of highlights from him, and I haven't, to be honest, watched a lot of games from him because I just I don't really follow Ligue 1, but I watched a lot of highlights, and I also read a lot of articles about him, and I kind of have an idea what kind of player he is, and I think he can be a great player for us, guys. He can be a great player, and I hope even though I'm a big fan of Declan Rice, I think his Premier League experience is going to be valuable for us. He's a great leader. He has a lot of friends at the club, and he just knows the club already because he was there like a couple of years ago. But I think his price, which is set at 100 million pounds, I think that's outrageous. Because even though we know West Ham are kind of, you know, pushing it, and they're like, he's not going to be 100 million pounds. I think the max they can get is like 80 million, but that's still a lot. But I think overall, guys, if we can get Declan Rice, Tchouameni has to be the guy that we are following. Fabregas has a lot of good things to say about him, and I think, you know, he's kind of like one of those players that if you get him, you're not gonna regret it, guys. I've seen a lot of people comparing him to Bakayoko, but that's just not the case, guys. He's nowhere near the class that, you know, Bakayoko is not nowhere near as good as Tchouameni, because, you know, Bakayoko is just a defensive midfielder, guys. That's about it. His ball playing ability isn't really great. He's a decent ball carrier, but I think Tchouameni is miles ahead of Bakayoko on the ball, guys. And I think this comparison is actually very stupid. But guys, Tchouameni, I think overall he's going to be my #1 option. The second player that I think Chelsea should be looking at if they can't sign Declan Rice is Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes, guys. He's 18 years old and he's regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world for his age. And I think the guy is super talented. And you guys know the hype already around him, you know, from FIFA to social media, all over everywhere basically. He's got a lot of hype, and, you know, a lot of people were expecting him to go to the Euros with France, but he didn't, which is understandable because, like, France is very packed in that position. But overall, guys, I think Camavinga is definitely destined to be a top-class midfielder very soon. You guys already saw him in the Champions League versus Mason Mount. Mason Mount kind of humbled him, guys. But jokes aside, guys, no, he's like very quality midfielder. He's a great presser, and I think he's just so comfortable on the ball. He can drop deep. He can be that destroyer if you want him, you know. And he's the perfect player for that midfield, you know, double pivot. And I think he can be a complementary player for us, for our squad next season. And I think, again, he's gonna be the perfect understudy for N'Golo Kante. I mean, obviously N'Golo Kante is world class, guys. And I think when you have a player like that, Camavinga can learn just like Tchouameni, guys. I think having that mentor in front of you is just a big boost for your career, guys. Like, you know, a lot of clubs, when they have that mentor, it just helps the younger players to learn from, be relaxed, and just, you know, it just eases them into the club. You know, I just love, you know, young players learning and getting mature throughout their career. You know, let's say, I don't know, let me just bring a random example. I don't know. Remember guys like Varane, he was like, you know, kind of was doing rotations with, you know, Pep and stuff. Or, you know, I mean, Cavani was giving advice to Marcus Rashford. These kind of things that I'm saying, guys, you know, learning from the older players, I think it's very important. And Camavinga, personally, I think he's going to be a bit more expensive. You know, I think he's going to be around probably 50, 60 million pounds. But again, I think, you know, now that I think a lot of people know that Ligue 1's TV deal kind of has been messed up. So I think a lot of clubs are struggling financially in that league. and I think they're basically are willing to let their players go for like very cheap prices, guys. So I think if you can get him below like 50 million, I think that's gonna be a very good option. But I think, guys, Camavinga, personally, I think, again, Aurélien Tchouameni, I think he's a bit more developed. I think he's a bit more mature. Obviously, he's older, but I think Camavinga has already like 100+ appearances for like, I think Rennes, I'm pretty sure. So I think this guy is clearly a very top-class player, guys. I think he made his debut when he was 16, guys. So that basically says a lot. He plays way out of his, age and stuff. So I think if you can get him, guys, I wouldn't be mad, guys. I think, he's going to be a very good player to have for the next... He's 18, so he can probably play for another 15 years, guys, which is absolutely insane if you get him. But I think I prefer Tchouameni still, I think, because of his experience. And also, I think Tchouameni is a bit more physical, which I prefer because, I think we just lack physicality in the midfield. I think our midfield is a bit too short. If you don't include, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But I think, yeah, I would still take Camavinga. Obviously, he's a very top-class player, and I think he's destined to be a great player eventually, So I think overall, for his price, I think he's like an 8 out of 10 signing. But hey, guys, let's go to the option number 3. The third alternative player that I think we should sign if you don't get Declan Rice is Boubacar Kamara for Olympique Marseille, guys. 21 years old, guys, and this guy is one of the most trusted players in their team. And I think he's versatile, guys. This guy was a center back. He got moved into the midfield because he was very good on the ball. He has a great first touch, and I just love the way he plays. I think he looks very mature on the ball for his age, and I think Marseille are very lucky to have a midfielder like him. He's going to be costing about 30 to 35 million, which is not that bad considering the current rates of market. I mean, players are going for insane prices. Declan Rice is valued at 100 million, which is absolutely insane, guys. But that's Premier League tax for you guys. But yeah, guys, back to Boubacar Kamara. I think I'm pretty sure you guys saw, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Andre Villas-Boas is the manager of Olympique Marseille. Even though he left, I think he was talking highly about, Boubacar Kamara. And I think, this guy is, again, one of those players that is going to be, very, very, good in the near future, guys. And I think this guy is just pure class. I'm not gonna lie, guys, pure class. I've actually watched a bit more of him rather than the other two options that I told you guys. And I think, Boubacar Kamara overall, I think he's the cheapest out of these three. And the funny thing is, all of them are French, which is absolutely insane, guys. France are producing like insane players at insane rates, guys. I mean, you look at like every single age range, guys. I mean, this guy is like, they got talents in every single like age base, I mean, I cannot believe, like, I mean, how do they do this? Like, every single year they got a hot prospect coming on. It was like Mbappe was like their best talent a couple years ago, and he's like 22 now. I'm like, come on, guys, like France is, their academies are like insane, guys. So Boubacar Kamara is one of those players, guys, you just cannot be missing out. He already made 100+ appearances for Marseille, and he's also a top-class ball winner, guys. I mean, his tackling is insane. I heard a lot of great things about his tackling. I think his tackling is very clutch, and this guy's as I said before, he's very good on the ball. And I think as I said before, guys, understudy for N'Golo Kanté. Obviously they're not going to start ahead of N'Golo Kanté unless Kanté is injured. But again, I think all of these French defensive midfielders that I talk about, guys, they can definitely be great players for our squad. And I think they're kind of similar. They just got some differences in certain areas, guys. I think Camavinga has the most potential. Aurélien Tchouameni has like kind of the most, he's like a bit more mature out of all those. But I think Boubacar Kamara, I think he's the worst out of those three. But again, we cannot take away anything from him. He's still a top class player, guys. And if you get him, I wouldn't complain. He's still a great player. And yeah, guys, let's go to the last player. For the final player in that position, guys, that could be an alternative to Declan Rice is Franck Kessié from AC Milan, guys. And he's 24 years old. And this guy has made a lot of progress throughout his career, and he can play as a center midfielder too. Currently he's playing in the midfield too with Ismail Ben Nasser, and I think the guy is absolutely insane, guys. I think a couple years ago he was kind of misused the way in AC Milan. I think he wasn't really utilized to his abilities. He was kind of playing as a box-to-box, which is not his best position, to be honest. I think he should play deeper. His physicality and his pressing, I think, is going to be much more useful in the deeper areas. And I think, you know, this guy's pressing is absolutely insane. I think he's improved a lot on the ball in this past couple seasons, especially under the recent manager, I think, which his name is Pioli, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, guys, I think for about the price of 50 to 55 million, I think he's going to be a great signing. He's already, you know, he's going to be playing in the Champions League next season with AC Milan, and I think, you know, his connection with Ben Nasser is very important for AC Milan's, you know, success in this past season, even though they haven't won any trophies, to be honest. But overall, I mean, at least they're in Champions League after years of, you know, being in Europa League and just not playing European football. And Kessié is one of the main reasons, guys. He plays for Ivory Coast, and he's one of their main players, guys. And, you know, this guy definitely can be a great signing. We were kind of linked to him in the past couple seasons, and he used to be in Atalanta. When he came to AC Milan, he had like a decent year, and then this past couple seasons was up and down. A lot of fans were criticizing him, but I think it was, you know, Gattuso, I think, was their manager a couple seasons ago. He was kind of misusing him, as I said before, but I think right now in the midfield too, that's his best position, guys. He can use his physicality to, you know, help the other midfielder that is like mostly, you know, kind of like playing, you know, in the deeper areas and ball progression and stuff, you know, that kind of a midfielder like him. I think imagine a Jorginho Kessié partnership would be very interesting to watch. You know, Jorginho providing that link up from the deeper areas and Kessié providing the physicality and the defensive abilities, you know, next to him. I think that's gonna be a very nice midfield to watch. And again, I think Kessié, out of all these players that I named before, he's the most mature one. I think he's getting close to his prime, if he's already not in his prime. And I think, yeah, I think he's gonna be a very for 50 million, I think it's an interesting price. I think maybe if you can get him for lower, maybe you can offer a player in exchange. I think that would be interesting because they already robbed us from, you know, Fikayo Tomori and Olivier Giroud. So who knows, we might, you know, toss them as Zappacosta or something, and they can give us like a cheaper price for Kessié. But overall, guys, I think Kessié, guys, is definitely an option to look out for if you can get, you know, Declan Rice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about all these 4 players that I named, and also if you guys want, just drop some names that you guys think we should sign if he can't sign, you know, Declan Rice. I'm pretty sure you guys have mixed opinions on Declan Rice. It's a very controversial topic to talk about nowadays. But yeah, guys, just let me know in the comments, and also make sure to smash the likes, guys. It helps my channel a lot. Subscribe and share this video with your friends. Let's see what they think. And yeah, guys, see you later for the next video. Bye bye.